Hi, my beautiful live people. How do you do? How is your Sunday? Wow, mine is restful as well. I just thank God that He has given us yet another new day. So today, I'm not just bringing you those episodes and those stories that I always bring, but today I'm just bringing you a random thing that came to my mind as I interacted with my nephews and nieces today, and I thought venye tu nimekaa hapa venye nimepumzika kidogo, I thought that I should discuss this with the members of my channel, and it's something that has really touched me, and it got me to think, wait a minute, could be this is now the current reality. So the issue I want us to discuss about is an issue that is touching on children and exposure. Just leisurely, because hata tumeinteract tu na wao, and I was like, wow, I'm learning something that I didn't know. I'm learning something new that I didn't know. So it got me going to my library, and I found some content, and I had to write it word by word, because I felt each parent need to understand and know this. And it's not just about us parents. And so I felt that like every parent ought to hear this, and every parent ought to know, because it is something that has really taken me, like it has really disturbed me. Tulikuwa tunaongea na wao stories about school, about their friends, about home, about how they have been. Actually, they had come to visit, and then we went somewhere, then we came back. So we're just restful in the house. So I saw this being very important. I found it very important to discuss this content about children, influence, and exposure. Now, the one thing that we learn is that children influence each other for more than most adults would realize. Like, children can influence one another in a very, very big way that you might not even imagine. Yani wakipatana tu, you utafikiria tu, oh, they are just exchanging toys, they are just playing, they are just having fun. But those children, they interact and exchange a lot more than we can even imagine. And you know, when these children have some experiences, so wakikuwa na kakitu mpya kenye wamesikia, wameona, wame-experience, like they can't wait to meet their friends, they can't wait to meet their peers, so that they can tell them about what they had, what they saw, what they experienced. So wewe utakuwa umekaa hapo thinking that these children are just exchanging their toys, but they are exchanging so many things. They exchange words, they exchange habits, they exchange even attitudes, because children are brought up differently. Like when they meet together, they are coming from different homes, wanatoka different zones of different areas. They are coming from different ethnic groups, you know. And children, unlike the adults, they just interact and mingle freely. So unaweza patana na watoto ambao they are already so exposed. Others unaweza patana nao and you find that they know a lot even beyond their age. Others unapatana na wao, they are quiet, they don't know anything, because kwao mama yao is very intentional, even in the way they interact with them, even in the way they allow them, even the way they give them content, you know. So these children are very different, and now they have met. And as we have said, these children are very eager to share what they know, and there is that child who knows a lot. Now, I was asking myself, does the Bible tell us anything about such? The same book I was reading, written by a lady by Ellen Goldwhite, it was saying that you go to the Bible, you get all you need for your child and all you need for the upbringing of your child. And so she was giving us the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 33 that says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. So this reminds us that the influence is powerful. And even at a young age, tusikae tufikiria kwamba these children are just young. There is still influence that can capture them. So reality is that every parent should understand that each child comes from a different home, from a different environment, from a different place of exposure, and therefore when they come together, some carry experiences that are beyond their age. Also, children imitate what they see, not what adults assume they understand. Children are able to take and absorb very fast, to take and absorb a lot, because by seeing, they absorb. By hearing, they absorb. So, what does that mean? When these children interact, so here we have these two children. Huyu mtoto mmoja hajui anything. Na kuna mtoto mwingine hapa, she knows beyond what she's even supposed to know. And you know, this exposure does not just come hivyo tu. Watoto, they really absorb what they see. So let's not be deceived. Let's not be misled. Bad company definitely corrupts good morals. They corrupt good character. That is in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33, as we had read. So we should always know that influence is very powerful. And it is not just for the adults, but even at a young age, influence is very powerful. The reality is that every parent should understand that each child comes from a different home, from a different environment, from a different zone, from different exposures. And you know, some children carry experiences beyond their age. They are doing things that are beyond their age completely. And when these children come, they meet children that sometimes most of them have not had some of the experiences that they come with. And you know, these children, they have different places of exposure. Exposure number one, they have the neighborhoods. So the Bible tells us in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 33, do not be misled. Do not be misled, because bad company corrupts good character. Bad company corrupts good behavior. Bad company corrupts good morals. And the Bible really knows, and the writer of the Bible really knew that influence is very, very powerful. Not only at an adult age, but even at a young age. Therefore, we should take care of our children even as they grow, because they also get influenced. Children imitate what they see, not what adults assume they understand. That is where the Bible comes in and tells us that we should train up our children in the way they should go. And once they are old. So what does this mean? It means we are equipping our children. We equip them before they grow old, so that when they are old, when they are of age, when they are older than they are today, they will remember that my mom said this is good, my mom said this is bad. So when we train up our children intentionally, they will not depart from the ways that we are going to train them. And of course, we are going to train them on the ways of the Lord. Now, this training that the Bible is talking about is a training that is very intentional, because children absorbs what surrounds them. The books that I was reading about child guidance, it is counsels from child guidance. It says, children will imitate their parents, therefore great care should be taken to give them correct models. Now, what are some of the examples of the things that children get exposed to? What are some of the examples that children who are exposed may bring into peer interactions? And when they meet with their friends, what are these things that they might bring with them from wherever environment they are coming from? Number one, they can carry with them explicit language learned from adults or other siblings. Some siblings who are maybe older, these children will come with languages that you may not understand where they got it from. You know, the finger language, the middle finger language. I'm surprised to find a 3-year-old who already knows the middle finger language. So I was asking that baby, whom did you see? Uliona nani akifanya hiyo kitu? na hiyo kitu inasema nini? Okay, hiyo finger yenye umefanya hivyo inasema nini? Ati si inasema have the finger. Have the finger. Nikamuuliza, what does it really mean that? Akaniambia, na ni vibaya. I decided to engage the parent. So I asked the parent, where did this boy get this kind of a language? Akaniambia, aki mtoto wangu sijui nitafanya nini. He has been interacting with boys, some boys wanacheza hapo football, and they are big boys wa high school, na wengine wameshamaliza shule, na wengine pia they have not gone to school, like they don't go to school. So I was like, oh my God, this boy knows a lot. So they bring the first thing that one of the examples that they can bring is the explicit language learned from adults or older siblings. Then sexualized talk or gestures copied from home or from media. This is where we are beaten, and this is what brought me shivering, because when I talked to my nieces and my nephews, walikuwa wananiambia vitu, and I was like, oh my God, where did you hear this? Wananiambia, si you know, sijui nani ambaye anakaanga sijui deski ya pili, mwenye sijui mwingine anakaa loka ya pili. You know, they're telling you about their friends in school who have told them stories and stories and stories. Let me share with you what some of the sexualized talks that were telling me. So I know we are very free with them. So tumeketi hivyo, wakaniambia, auntie, unajua mama sijui nani alishakuja na mtoto nyumbani, alikuwa amekaa hospitali for 2 days because she was getting a baby. So I was like, okay, so they brought home a baby. Then the other one interjects, na nikwambie, unajua huyo mtoto alitoka wapi? Alikatwa. Nikamwambia, alikatwa tumbo, mtoto akatolewa. Hapana, hakukatwa kwa tumbo. Sasa they're even defining, wananionyesha, they are describing it venye ilifanyika, not on the tummy, but you know where. Oh my goodness. So they are showing me venye hata karibu hata naambia mwenzake alale ainue miguu so that aelezee vile huyo mtoto alitolewa na vile alikatwa. Nikawauliza, nani aliwaambia? Si nilisikia huyo mama fulani, sitaki kumtaja jina because wanajuana. Nilisikia sijui nani akisema yeye hata wairudi kupata mtoto mwingine tena. Ikiwa hivyo ndivyo watakuwa wanamkata, hata waipata mtoto mwingine tena. I was like, oh my God. And they talked about this innocently, not knowing that hiyo mshene yote wanapiga hapo. They were just so careless that the children were picking it up and they were recording it in their minds. And I was like, no. Now these babies, they are too young for this. This is only a 9 and an 8-year-old, and they already know these details. Then I went ahead and asked them, that must have been very painful. But then you should not listen to such stories from adults. Okay, tukahave katok ketu, and I tried to rub it off so that ikitu hata isikuje ku affect huyu mtoto in future, because they will feel like, si hata mama fulani alisema that is a very painful experience. I also don't want to have a baby. You know, this is something that might traumatize them even in future when they are adults, because they have copied something that it is hard. Sasa I was imagining, sasa huyu mtoto ataenda tena, na kwa sababu they have already had it. Sasa the way they have shared with me, who knows whether they have shared with some of their friends? Who knows whether they have shared with their classmates? This tells you that children can carry things and can copy things and bring them to their peers so quickly than we ever think. Some children have also been exposed to aggressive behavior that is seen in the neighborhood or on videos. These aggressive behaviors are behaviors like being bullies, fighting. Like I'm seeing a certain group of girls. I'm trying to talk to them because this has really caught my attention, because I'm seeing like now there is a problem here. Hawa wasichana, they're just young girls, but wameshajua, they are 7. One is 7, another one is 6, and 2 are 7, another one is 6. So these girls, they already have known venye unaweza separate mtu na wengine. anawambia, if you don't obey to that, you are not our friends, you are out of our circle. And the way she swings her neck, you know, you can tell that this is a child who has been exposed beyond her age. Yani hana ile innocence ya mtoto. Ni mtoto mwenye anaweza separate wengine na haras ule mwingine, ambuli ule mwingine, amweke akae like huyu huyu hata si mtu wa kurelate na yeye, huyu ni mbaya. Yani they make them look bad until hata wao wenyewe wanaanza zile za, kwani ninakaa vibaya aji, kwani how do I look, you know. So this is a child who has been exposed beyond, and they have been exposed to aggressiveness, they have been exposed to abuse, maybe in the society, or maybe mama yake ni ule mwenye anajua kuseparate watu kwa plot ama kwa apartment. Ni ule mwenye akikupata kama walikuwa wawili anakwambia, na hata kuwa na park kwa hii parking yangu. Nimesema hata kama sina gari, hii parking ni yangu, ni mimi nailipianga nikilipa nyumba yangu. You know, there are such people. Kama mtoto ako hapo, the same thing anabeba, anapeleka kwa watoto wengine. Ataenda kwa class and should be a bully and a silent one. Because wale wenye uongea hivyo in your absence, wakati umefika ndio nakwambianga, hata kama gari yako, hata kama bwana yako anakuja leo, mnaweza park kwa parking yangu. Those are the kind of people. They are just, I don't know even what I can say. They are just toxic. But they are pretenders and they are hypocrites. So if this child carries such behavior from home, akifika shuleni, be sure this child will be a bully. And we have no control at some point. Why? Because you might not tell from the beginning. After it has happened, you realize this child is a bully. Why is she being reported every other time? Mbona watoto wanamreport every other time? Then children can also bring from wherever suggestive music lyrics and dance styles. Like kanaweza kuwa tu kana dance to innocently, na wamekuwa wakidance na mama yake for TikTok, wamekuwa wakiimba na mama yake they sing along for TikTok. But the music they bring to the peers is a music that is totally above their age. Not even above their age. It's a music that is not allowed. It's a music that does not have any morals. And you find that these children, they have access to that. And therefore, at the end of the day, because they are lyrics that they are singing along, they bring them to their peers. Also the dance styles, there are some dance styles that you look at a child and you're like, oh my God, this is so suggestive. And this is only a baby. This should not be happening with this baby, you know. So when all this is brought to the peers, you can be sure these children, they are going to copy exactly that. So utapata mtoto wako amekuja nyumbani, they are dancing in so weird ways, and you're like, huyu alitoa hizi wapi? They have teachers, they have friends that they trust, and because they have never seen it in their home, they will come practice it after they have got it. Also, some children have been exposed to access to pornography and inappropriate online content. This one is so rampant. It is so much happening. Watoto wamekuwa allowed, like they can watch anything, they can see anything. Parents no longer care. So long as it is in the internet, they have the Wi-Fi, they have their own phones and gadgets, they have their tablets, they can access just anything, and parents do not care. So if you find these children who are overexposed and who are exposed to such, it is really they will really corrupt the morals of the others. Exposure is deeper. Some children might have been, there is a possibility that in that school where your children go, in that church where your children go, in that field where your children go, in that play area where your children go, there is a child who has been recruited to occultism and rituals that are running around and that are tying that child along. Even as they walk along, they are not themselves. And this can bring, these children can be used as agents of recruitment. Also, some children have been, some children can bring disrespectful communication that has been normalized at home. There is that mother who talks venye tu anataka to the husband or to the dad. There is that employer who talks just venye anataka before the child, anaongelesha the nannies and the house helps venye tu anataka. There is that lady or that man who talks on phone and anaongea vibaya in front of that child. That child will normalize that. Itakuwa like hiyo ni kitu ya kawaida. So hata akikuja kwa wengine utasikia hata anawaita majina zingine weird, utasikia anawaongelesha in a very very disrespectful communication and disrespectful language, and this is not because this child is that, but this is because this child has been exposed and it has been normalized at home. So they can bring disrespectful communication to your children who have been brought up in the right way. Then they can bring body curiosity games, and that one I don't want to go so deep into it. They can also bring secretive and manipulative peer behavior. What does this mean? There are so many things that these children do ambazo wewe si lazima ukue hapo. For example, when they are playing in the field, take for example in a school setup where I belong, wanacheza huko kwa uwanja. Do you go in between them to see what they are doing and to like supervise what they will do? You just set them free. There is that free time where children are taken out, they are given free time to play with their friends. When they are doing those challenges, you come to realize that ini challenge gani inafanywa hapa. Sometimes they bring so weird challenges that they have collected online, they have collected from the internet and wherever. Some have been even been trained, just like venye tumesema kwamba the children who could be recruited in the occultic world, and when they come to our children, they bring the influence, and sometimes they have become the agents of recruitment. We have seen that happening so oftenly with our children. So this child atakuja na secretive and manipulative, very manipulative by the way, such that if your child was not well equipped, they will be swayed off. Just the other day, I received a phone call from my friend who was telling me she's mad at her baby because the baby amekuwa manipulated to an extent she can't even listen to her. Now what broke her and what made her run mad is because this baby was told by her friend in school that when you go home, you don't know about sex. Haya, you have not known about sex, and this is a 7-year-old baby. And I call them babies because they are babies. This is a 7-year-old baby being influenced by an 8-year-old baby. So anawambia, you don't know sex? Let me tell you what it is. Sahiyo, within a second, namuuliza wanafanya hizo zote saa ngapi? Ama mwalimu ako wapi at that time? Ananiambia these ones, ananiambia ati hata walimwambia the daughter aliniambia tukienda choo, kama tunatembea kwa njia tukienda kwa choo. Just imagine between the toilet and the classroom, what distance do you think there is? The distance is so short. Yani kutoka kwa class kuingia kwa choo, already alikuwa amemwambia you don't know about sex. Sex is when this happens. Akamwelezea everything, and the mother was like, guys, sitaki kuhear, I don't want to hear this. Hebu nyamaza kwanza, na yeye mtoto anamwelezea. So the mother is like, oh my god, some of these things hata mimi sijui. Now what? Anyway, so these children wanaweza manipulate wale wengine. So she was telling me what killed her is that this girl aliwaambia marafiki zake, because you don't know about sex, mimi I already have a boyfriend. Wakamwambia hata sisi we have boyfriends. But akamwambia, no, I know you don't have boyfriends. The friends you have is the boys who are your friends. So she's talking about something different, something deeper. And this is an 8-year-old, imagine. So akamwambia, today when you go, because today is a Friday, when you go, ukichukua simu yako, go and Google about sex. You will see, even you will see people having sex. And the mother was like, guy, nasikia kukufa. Nasikia tu nimis, hata sijui nasikia aje. So I was telling her, I know a time will come when these children will be taught about sex and sex education. But this is not how they are taught. They are not taught about these deep things, about the practical part of it. They are only taught about how to take care of themselves and the things that they should not do. And the teachers are very clear and they are able to handle that topic so well that it doesn't corrupt the mind of the child. But now this is a child who knows all about it and is telling the others to even go and Google. And true to her word, because of this manipulation yenye tumesema hapa, that they manipulate secretively because they want to influence them. Not that they don't know what they are doing. They are sharing what they have with them. So they were forced to go and Google about sex. And then she told them, if you don't do it, you will not belong to my circle. So you can see, it was so painful. It was so bad. This parent alikuwa ananiambia hakutaka hata kufikiria kwamba mtoto wake anaweza kuwa na all these details. But you see, this is something that they are doing so secretively and they are doing it so manipulatively. So this other one must obey. Now, what does the Bible tell us? We are told in the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Therefore, the heart is not just the heart that pumps blood. It is the mind. When the mind is corrupted, when the mind is not clean, then you can be sure that this child will not grow up akiwa na the health, the mental health that they need to have, because their mental health has been interfered with. Now, what does guarding the heart include? It includes what gets into your child's mind. It includes what gets into your child's mind by either listening, by either watching, by either interacting with her friends, or even from you as the parent. Writer Ellen Goldwhite counsels and says, the mind of the child is easily impressed, and evil communications leave their mark. If they are given evil communication, they will leave their mark. Now, the key truth for the parents must be to remember that most children are repeating exposure, not inventing wrongdoings. It's not that they are doing it because they are evil, but they are just exposing and repeating what they have captured out there. Then, let us all know that behavior often signals what a child has seen or heard. If they have heard something or they have seen something, the behavior will definitely show it. Then, the same Bible that tells us to guard our hearts tells us in the book of Matthew chapter 12 verse 34 that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. When the child is speaking, it's because it is filled in her heart. It is filled in their mind. Therefore, they are speaking from the abundance of their heart. This is what is filled in their minds. That is what they vent. Kama wamejazwa na those evil communications, evil languages, if they are in those occultic world, they will vent what is coming from their mind. Ellen G. White again counsels that wrong habits once formed are not easily overcome. Therefore, the training of children should begin early. The children should begin to be trained early. Why does she advise? Why does she counsel that we should train our children from early? She says we train them from early because children are bound to meet friends. Children are not going to be in our houses throughout. They are not islands. They will meet others out there. Now this friend of mine was asking me, do I homeschool my child, or what do I do? But then after homeschooling, you want to go to church? Will you home church? You'll not have a home church. Will you not let your child to interact with neighbors? Will you not let your child to go out the parks? Will you not let your child to go with you when you go visiting your friends? So this will not help, because the school is not the problem. The problem is how equipped is your child to know that this is right inference, this is a wrong inference, and I'm not supposed to bow to this. Let us equip our children.